Welcome back to the news at 10. The police in Ondo State say they have arrested some suspects in connection with the killing of Mrs. Funke Olakuni. The public relations officer of the Ondo State Police Command, Femi Joseph, says the suspects were arrested when security operatives stormed the forest in the area near Ore, Ondo State. Although the police spokesperson did not disclose the identity of the suspects, he explains that investigations are still ongoing and the suspects will be paraded as soon as possible. Mrs. Funke Olakuni, daughter of the leader of the Pan-Yoruba Social-Cultural Group, Afenifere, was shot dead by armed men on Friday, July the 12th, along the Ondo-Ore highway. Falcon Corporation Limited, an indigenous natural gas company, has promised to continue to provide integrated portfolio services that drive the energy sector in Nigeria. At the 25th anniversary of the Falcon Corporation in Lagos, the company's managing director, Professor Joe Ezigbo, says despite the ups and downs Falcon has experienced over the years, the company is poised to break new grounds while upholding its operational excellence.
The corporate headquarters of Falcon Corporation Limited, a wholly indigenous oil and gas company which started operations in 1994. In a bid to contribute its quota to the reduction of gas flaring in Nigeria and deliver quality service to its industrial customers, Falcon Corporation distributes gas through its wide network of pipelines across Ikorodu Natural Gas Franchise Zone in Lagos, southwest Nigeria and its environs. 25 years after, it's time to look back at the journey so far and celebrate. Members of staff, customers, friends, and other well-wishers turn out for the Falcon Corporation Silver Jubilee celebration.
We felt several times we got up to go, and here we are today. And for each and every one of you, I say thank you so much, because you are here today because you made it possible for us to be here today.
The journey of Falcon has been a journey of a commitment to building Nigeria by Nigerians. The journey of Falcon has been a journey of intentionality, resilience, and determination in spite of very, very strong odds. The journey of Falcon is a statement of institution building and of legacy.
For those who've been in business relationship with Falcon Corporation, it's one that has been mutually beneficial.
It's been a good ride, I would say, and it's a ride which is there in the making for the next 20 years. And I wish Falcon the best for the next 25 years, and probably we'll be here together celebrating the 50th year of Falcon.
The management of Falcon Corporation looks forward to better decades ahead.
I see a Falcon bigger than Coca-Cola. I see a Falcon bigger than Mercedes-Benz. I see a Falcon that is soaring with such dexterity and with such outreach to better Nigeria, to better Africa, and better the world at large.
As Falcon Corporation celebrates, one of the company's plans for the next 25 years is to go further with the distribution of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, in other parts of Nigeria.
And for the rest of the business news, here's Anne Wilder.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. We begin tonight with Nigeria's inflation rate, which has now eased sharply lower in the month of June to 11.22% year-on-year. That's coming from a 0.18% point decrease from the rate posted in the month of May, which was 11.40%. Latest data released today by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the headline index fell to 1.07% on a month-on-month basis, indicating a decline of 0.04% from the rate recorded in the month of May. Urban inflation rate fell to 11.61% year-on-year in the month under review, while the rural inflation rate eased to 10.87% from 11.08%, which was recorded in May. The composite food index stood at 13.56% in June compared to the previous month of 13.79%, as increases were recorded in prices of bread, cereals, meat, fish, vegetables and fruits. Nigerian upstream giant Seplat Petroleum Production Company is close to the reality of its gas business project, which commenced in 2012. With the domestic and foreign markets in view, the management of the dual-listed company is now assuring investors of a good mix of naira and dollar receipts in the near future.
PC is pretty much
this market briefing is an unusual event in the stock exchange. It is tagged the Seplat Capital Markets Day, following an earlier version that held at the London Stock Exchange. Seplat is in the market this time to intimate investors with its venture into the world of gas, one that the chief executive, Mr. Austin Avuru, attributes to Nigeria's gas revolution and the rise in consumption.
We saw a projection where domestic gas demand was going to grow from that 300 million scope to about 1 BCF about now, and we're still thinking another 3 to 4 years it will get closer to 2 BCF per day. And with this projection was also a projection in increase in price. Again, because there was no domestic market for gas, there really was no pricing framework for gas before 2011, 2012.
Seplat's gas project is christened ANO, an acronym for Asa North and Ohaji South, representing a major onshore gas reserves in Imo State. The project, which looks to deliver gas, LPG and condensate by the first quarter of 2021, has been designed as a special purpose vehicle.
2 gas plants will be developed out of the subsurface. One will be operated and of course developed by the Shell JV as a conventional joint venture concept. The other one is the ANO gas processing plant, which we hear about. It's going to be developed and operated by the Seplat JV.
The ANO gas plant's development project is in 3 phases and estimated at a whopping $700 million.
We are pretty much at the end of phase 1, and we call that the equity phase. So it's a delight that the government came in earlier on this year with their first tranche of equity funding for 100 million, and we matched that. And then the second tranche has actually just been funded as well, and it will come in at $50 million each.
Seplat's gas and condensate field projects clearly indicates high hopes, as the initiative is expected to address Nigeria's deficit in thermal power delivery.
The bears are maintaining their own grip on the Nigerian stock markets today, as the main index has ended today's session at 0.79% lower, further below the 28,000 level. Let's hear more from Layo Adegoke.
Thank you for joining us on the Stock Market Report. The negative trend seen since the beginning of the month has spilled into the 3rd trading week as investors await a clear policy direction from the federal government. At the close of trade, the all-share index fell by 0.79%, still below the 28,000 level. 4 out of the 5 key sectors closed the day negative, with the banking counter taking the heaviest hit, down 1.56%, while industrial goods shed 1.03%. Only consumer goods closed the day positive. Meanwhile, 175.16 million shares, worth 2.14 billion naira, were traded in 3,111 deals. The shares of Wapik Insurance, UBA and GT Bank were the most actively traded on Monday. And these are the top gainers and losers for the day. Well, that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I'm Layo Adegoke.
Thank you, Layo. Most global stock markets have closed positive today as economic data from China came in as expected, although stocks on Wall Street were very little changed as financials showed some weakness following Citigroup's earnings report. Let's see how they all ended today. With those numbers, we'll end Business News tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Ondo. The rest of the news at 10 continues shortly with Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, former President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, describes corruption allegations against him as a conspiracy aimed at removing him from politics. And that's coming from our London bureau and around the world in 5. Stay tuned.